Hello colleagues, welcome to this session on use of social media applications in teaching and learning of STEM courses. The advances in technologies have provided us new tools and services. In our previous session, we noted that the mobile telephony has surpassed landline telephony. This has provided a good base for the social media applications to grow. There are few social media applications like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, which have become very popular. These are being used in many of the fields and disciplines, including STEM courses. This session will be focused on to examine how these social media applications can be used in teaching and learning of STEM courses. Let's have a look at the definitions of social media. Techopedia defines social media as a catch-all term for a variety of internet applications that allow users to create content and interact with each other. This interaction can take many forms, but some common types include sharing links to interesting content produced by third parties, public updates to a profile, including information on current activities and even location data, sharing photos, videos, and posts, and commenting on the photos, posts, updates, videos, and links shared by others. Another definition is given by Larsword, which defines social media as a category of sites that is based on user participation and user-generated content. They include social networking sites like LinkedIn, Facebook, or social bookmarking sites like Dell, Icios, social news sites like Digg or Simpy, and other sites that are centered on user interaction. There is another definition by Kaplan and Heinlein, which define social media as a technology and ideological web-based applications that reflect the user-generated content and exchange of information. So you can see now that social media facilitates group communication, collaboration, and interaction among students and teachers. These communications or interactions can be synchronous or asynchronous in nature, depending upon the feature of social media sites. On most of the social media, a user creates a profile where they share personal information, interests, thoughts, photographs, videos, and any other information they would like to share with others. The access to such information can be managed with configuration on the social media site settings page. Now let us see examples of social media. Social media applications serve various purposes pertaining to education, information, communication, collaboration, and as a knowledge repository. Some popular examples are Facebook. Facebook is an American online social media and social networking service company based in California. Its website was launched on February 4, 2004 by Mark Zuckerberg along with his fellow Harvard College students and roommates Eduardo, Andrew, Dustin, and Chris Hughes. Here on this site, the registered users create their profile, share photos, videos, posts, etc. with their friends or anyone on the web. Another example is Twitter, which is a micro-blogging service which allows users to broadcast short messages as tweets. There are applications which allow aggregate tweets on a particular topic with the use of a hashtag. Twitter is easy to use as either broadcaster or receiver. You join with a free account and a Twitter name. Then you send broadcasts popularly called as tweets, daily, hourly, or as frequently as you like. Go to the What's Happening box, type 280 or fewer characters and click tweet. People who follow you and potentially others who do not will see your tweets. Encourage people you know to follow you and receive your tweets in their Twitter feeds. Let your friends know you are on Twitter to slowly build up a following. When people follow you, Twitter etiquette calls for you to follow them back. To receive Twitter feeds, find someone interesting, like celebrities, and press follow to subscribe to their tweets. If their tweets are not as interesting as you thought they would be, you can always select unfollow. YouTube is another popular platform, which is a video sharing platform where the users can upload their videos, which can be made publicly viewable or private. It has the functionality to broadcast video and editing the uploaded video. Now let's see what are main functions of YouTube. Here users can search for and watch videos, can create a personal YouTube channel, can upload videos to channel. They can like, comment, share other YouTube videos. You can subscribe or follow other YouTube channels and users, and you can create playlists to organize videos and group videos together. Another example is Wikipedia, which is an online encyclopedia offering free and open content developed collaboratively. It is a special type of website designed to make collaboration easy, called a wiki. Many people are constantly improving Wikipedia, making thousands of changes per hour. All of these changes are recorded in article histories and recent changes. Let's see Reddit, which provides socially curated stories and news on topic of interest by members. Reddit is an American social news aggregation, web content rating and discussion website. Registered members submit content to the site, such as links, text posts, and images, which are then voted up or down by other members. LinkedIn is a business and employment-oriented service that operates via websites and mobile apps. Founded in December 2002 and launched in May 2003, it is mainly used for professional networking, including employers posting jobs and job seekers posting their CVs. Another example is Pinterest, which is a social media web and mobile application company launched in January 2010 that operates a software system designed to discover information on the World Wide Web, mainly using images and on a smaller scale, GIFs and videos. The site was founded by Ben Silbermann, Paul Sciarra, and Ivan Sharp. Pinterest has reached 250 million monthly active users as of October 2018. Its CEO summarized the company as a catalog of ideas that inspires users to go out and do that thing, rather than as an image-based social network. It is a free website that requires registration to use, where users can upload, save, sort, or manage images known as pins and other media content, for example videos, through collections known as pinboards. Content can also be found outside Pinterest and similarly uploaded to a board via the Pin It button, which can be downloaded to the bookmark bar on a web browser or be implemented by a webmaster directly on the website. Some websites include red and white Pin It buttons on items, which allow Pinterest users to pin them directly. In 2015, Pinterest implemented a feature that allows users to search with images instead of words. Let's have a look at Instagram, which is another photo and video sharing social networking service owned by Facebook. It was created by Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger and launched in October 2010 exclusively on iOS. Instagram is a free photo and video sharing app available now on Apple iOS, Android, and Windows Phone. People can upload photos or videos to their service and share them with your followers or with a select group of friends. Users can also view, comment, and like posts shared by their friends on Instagram. Anyone 13 or older can create an account by registering an email address and selecting a username. Not so long ago, the Pew Research Center explored the role of science-related Facebook pages, both those that were meant to enhance the reach of existing science-related media enterprises and those that arose from science enthusiasts and experts utilizing social media platforms to bring their voice to science issues. The analysis shows that users encounter a wide range of content on science-related Facebook pages. Few of the 30 pages in this analysis produce content across a range of STEM-related areas. In fact, just 4 of the 30 produce roughly similar shares of posts on several topics. Instead, most pages specialize. The bulk of their content touches just 1 or 2 science topics such as health and medicine, food and nutrition, animal science, or astronomy and physics. Further, each page tends to present content from one of a handful of frames, and for nearly 2/3 of the pages in this set, a majority of posts reflect just one frame, either new science-related discoveries, science news you can use, or promotions for programs or events. An ongoing question about news shared on social media platforms concerns the extent to which the accounts are featuring information they produce themselves or whether they amplify information produced by other organizations, perhaps with the assistance of automated news generators. One way to gauge the extent to which these pages are generating custom content for their pages is to classify the source of each page as stemming from the account holder or from an outside organization. Multi-platform pages tend to have staff and other resources that might make it easier to create custom generated content on their pages. The majority of posts from the 15 multi-platform pages came from content produced by the page owner's organization. Indeed, 100% of the posts on the National Geographic and Science magazine Facebook pages were produced by their own organizations. The vast majority of posts from a number of other science-related pages for multi-platform organizations also followed this strategy. Pew Research Center coded the primary frame or main goal or focus of the post of a random sample of posts from each page appearing in the first half of 2017. The bulk of posts across the 30 Facebook pages they analyzed utilized one of the 3 frames: news about a scientific discovery or development, science-related news you can use, or a promotion for a media program on another platform. If you are using, and I am sure you are certainly be using social media or have watched students using social media, you might have observed the emotional behaviors: being charmed, anxious, obsessive, bored, heartbroken, envious, or maybe furious, etc. Emily Winston in her study finds that teenagers report feeling all kinds of positive and negative emotions when describing the same social media experiences. say posting selfies, Snapchatting, browsing videos. But the majority rate their overall experiences as positive. In this study, adolescent social media expert Emily Winston analyzed surveyed responses from around 600 high school students at a suburban public high school in the United States. The students, who were evenly split between male and female, were heavier users of social media than the average American teen. 98% said that they were online almost constantly or several times a day compared to 80% of teens nationally. 87% of these students used Instagram, 87% used Snapchat, and 76% used Facebook. The study found that teens had 4 main ways of using social media. And although they acknowledged negative emotions from each, most described their experiences as generally positive. The ways teenagers use social media are for self-expression, that is sharing posts that portray who you are and what you care about, for relational interactions like messaging and connecting with family, friends, and maybe romantic interests, for exploration like searching areas of interest, and for browsing like general scrolling through feeds and apps. Each of these modes led to both positive and negative emotions. In self-expression mode, teens felt empowered and excited when they shared important aspects of their identities with others, and they enjoyed looking back at their personal Instagram feeds to reflect on how they would develop over time. But they also worried about being judged by peers and expressed anxiety over not getting enough likes. For relational interactions, teens felt happy to stay connected with peers, and many actually strengthened offline relationships with friends and significant others through social media. They enjoyed keeping in touch with faraway family members too, but they also felt overwhelmed by the number of messages they had to respond to, and many felt left out when they saw friends posting together without them. When exploring, teens enjoyed learning more about their interests, such as cooking or sports, or exploring new passions, such as activism or gun control. But they also reported viewing distressing and graphic images and stories. When browsing, teens often felt amused and inspired by the different photos and videos they come across. But they also saw things that made them envious, insecure, or sad appear with thousands of followers, a deluge of images of attractive people, or even posts expressing appreciation for a parent or sibling, if they personally didn't have that type of familial relationship. Now, let us see its role in STEM. As educators recognize the value of social networking in STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, students of all ages are tapping into social media for more than sharing photos and keeping track of their friends' activities. Educators are using social networking platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter to keep students engaged in subjects including chemistry, engineering, life sciences, and mathematics. Using social networking in STEM education can yield valuable results in promoting the study of these important subjects. The Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers advocates the use of social networking in STEM classrooms as an opportunity to redirect students' use of social media platforms towards positive outcomes. With examples of educators who use YouTube to post scientific experiments, Pinterest to share do-it-yourself projects, or Facebook to communicate to students, the IEEE encourages educators to consider social networking as another way to spark interest and maintain enthusiasm on STEM subjects away from the classroom. With numerous social networking platforms, educators can pick and choose the most appropriate venues for each application or lesson plan. Twitter and Facebook offer options for ongoing communication, comment, and reminders since students may be using these sites throughout the day. Other examples for using social networking in STEM classrooms include, say, Instagram. Using this photo sharing app, educators can post photos of students' progress in experiments or long-term projects. Students can post photos of at-home research and progress for sharing and comments. We can use Pinterest also. This do-it-yourself site is a resource for crafts and projects that students can access while away from classroom. Using photos and text, this site allows educators to identify previously posted projects or create their own and share with students. Skype is another example, which is a video conferencing tool which allows students to interact with guest speakers such as inventors, scientists, and entrepreneurs. Students can use a Skype connection to collaborate on projects with other classrooms or get a front row seat to scientific demonstrations and exhibits anywhere in the world. And you may be knowing that recently the Skype has introduced a facility of live translation. Say, for example, if I speak in English and the colleague at the other end understands Portuguese, so the software can translate my English into Portuguese at the other end. Another example is YouTube, which is a global video website ideal for sharing live action instruction ranging from lab experiments to space exploration, complete with audio and subtitles. STEM teachers can create their own videos or share those others have posted. STEM students can also take advantage of wide-scale programs designed to integrate social networking programs into the classrooms. For example, the Global Ozone Project in Boulder, Colorado supplies middle and high school students with equipment to collect and analyze air pollution data. Once collected, the data is uploaded into a public database where it is graphed and displayed on Google Earth. The reports are used by scientists and government groups for research and planning. Students also upload their findings onto social networking, allowing other students worldwide to interact with each other and share observations on their data. The program, which includes almost 2,000 students, has over 100 sites being observed in 25 countries around the world. Using social networking for STEM education can help interested students explore, experiment, and examine limitless concepts and solutions. Encouraging students to contribute to the process also is beneficial. Allowing students to take the initiative in integrating social networking into STEM education can tie into computer programming and design, which are important areas of STEM study. Social networking for STEM education also may yield significant benefit for students who have marginal interest in the study of STEM-related subjects. For those who are less than enthusiastic, any opportunity to present STEM subjects in an interesting and exciting light should be expanded upon. Doing so can increase the potential for creating a spark of excitement among indifferent students who may consider STEM subjects boring or uninteresting. With so many potential opportunities in STEM occupations, using social networking in STEM education can benefit students with a wide range of interests and encourage long-term study in this growing and lucrative field. STEM learning activities are great places for students to develop communications skills which they will very much need if they enter STEM workplace as adults and are expected to work in teams and confer with colleagues, businesses, and public at large. Imagine, for example, small teams learning to stay in communication across time zones with different school schedules, sharing information effectively over the internet. Imagine the value of team members who live in different school cultures, learning to divide up responsibilities, from professional friendships, and share their STEM experiences in clear and understandable ways. There are many ways to use social media for STEM courses, but some will serve you better than others. There are many things you can do, but the important thing is that you know what you want to do. This can include communicating with people in real time as part of hashtag forum on Twitter, or communicating directly with people who read your work. It can involve professional collaboration or communication with the public. While there are many platforms scientists can use for social media, it is important to find that the one that the best suits your purpose rather than trying to be on all of them. You may like to use Wikipedia to educate students in an informal peer review process while helping to improve the platform. On Wikipedia, anyone can be an editor. Editing Wikipedia can be productive if your field is underrepresented or negatively represented. Another popular bookmarking site is Reddit, where people share interesting articles in sections dedicated to a wide range of topics, including specific field of science. One important advice for those that do choose to use social media, I would recommend keeping your public and private persona separate. Let's see, why are scientists uneasy using social media? There may be various reasons. For example, discomfort or stigma associated with, say, self-promotion, like shouldn't the quality of my science speak for itself, or aren't rigor and flash anti-correlated? Then there may be danger of overselling societal relevance of results, and who has the time anyway, or dangers of oversimplifying results to the point of inaccuracy, the fear of a scientist as advocate, loss of objective image, and other reasons. For STEM, teachers and students need to carry out different functions. They can use variety of social media for different functions. For example, WordPress as a blog would be an ideal option for sharing their views and thoughts and lesson plans. Twitter is a good platform for sharing resources and obtaining feedback from students in short text. For bookmarking websites we visit and wish to save them for sharing with students and to be accessed from any place later on, we can use Diigo social bookmarking platform. As an question-answer platform, wiki-style collaboration in single space, endorsement of answers by instructors to keep the class on track, we can use Piazza, which saves time and assists students to learn using the power of community. The Google Documents are a great way to collaborate and share documents and access them from anywhere with an internet connection. Reddit is helpful to us to be used as community news forum if we wish to share important news with a large group of students. Teachers and students can utilize social media to interact with professionals in STEM fields. The professionals can keep their audience up to date with the projects they are working on and answer questions. Giving students a glimpse of what different jobs are like through this platform will make learning easy and fun. With a designated hashtag, Twitter users can see what others have to say about the project. By creating a YouTube page, professionals can post videos discussing what their jobs are like. Even Pinterest can be used to gather relevant articles, photographs, and websites. Institutions can also host events via social media such as Google Plus Hangouts, giving classrooms a chance to interact with STEM professionals in real time. NASA held its first Google Plus Hangout on February 22nd in 2013, where more than 1,000 participants worldwide, including science classes, were able to ask questions to the astronauts on the International Space Station. Exciting events like these use technology to create interest in STEM fields for students. NASA has held more than 50 social media events in the past 5 years to give followers an inside peek at projects. Taking a subject that many students see as boring can become more interesting by adding the element of social media. So many students are already familiar with it and integrate it into their day-to-day lives. Combining STEM education with social media allows students to interact with professionals in the field from all around the world.